Hey, great. We've got the last of our conditional formatting to do today. So we're going to do 2 cells of conditional formatting, and that's it. And that'll wrap up our conditional formatting. We'll be done with that, which is good because we'll be able to move on to some of the more meaningful portions of this program of this spreadsheet, which I'm pretty excited about. We'll be able to make this spreadsheet do some pretty neat things. So two instances of conditional formatting. The first of those is side 2 right here, and then the other one is side 3. So if we look at our formulas and we think for a few seconds, side 2 and side 3 aren't as important as side 1. So for all of our regular figures, right, regular pentagon, regular hexagon, regular octagon, all we need is one side to find both area and perimeter. So that's great, right? Same thing is true for like parallelogram, right? We don't even need a side for the area, but we do need the length of the side for the perimeter. The great thing about the side, though, is parallelogram, opposite sides of parallelogram are equal in length. So we don't need 2 side lengths. We only need 1, right? Because they're the same as each other. With a triangle, we have the potential for each of the sides to be different in length. So we need all 3 side lengths in order to be able to find the perimeter specifically of the triangle. For area, we don't need those measures unless one of the sides happens to be the same as the base, which does happen. Sometimes the 2 sides in a right triangle, 2 of those sides would be base and height. But we still need to know what those numbers are in order to find perimeter and area. With a trapezoid, we do need the second side specifically to find perimeter. We don't need it for area, right? For area, all we need is the 2 bases and the height. But for perimeter, to find the distance around the outside, we do need to know what the 2 side lengths are, those 2 diagonal sides, or those 2 non-parallel sides are in that trapezoid. So we've got base 1 and base 2. Those are the parallel sides in the trapezoid, and the other 2 sides are the ones that are not parallel. Again, for circle, we don't need any sides. So the only thing we need it for, side 2 we need for the trapezoid and for the triangle, and then side 3 we only need for the triangle. So this conditional formatting should be much simpler to write than some of the other conditional formatting that we've written. So go back to calculate, and again, I've got cell H2 selected, right, which is the cell right under where it says side 2. And I'm going to go to format, and I'm going to go all the way down to conditional formatting. Right, and that'll open up my conditional formatting window. I'm just going to move over here just so I can see where I'm conditional formatting. It doesn't really matter. So I'm going to slide this my pretty picture down a little bit because we've seen that be a problem before. So we're applying this to range, to cell H2, and our format cells if not is empty. We know we're going to go down to that custom formula, right? So all the way to the bottom, custom formula is, and then click where it says value or formula, and here's where we'll type our formula. And our formula for this one is going to include an or statement, but again, pretty simple. So we're going to go equals if open parenthesis, and again, we need an or statement, right? So we're going to check more than one value to see if something's going on, right? So or gives us the ability to check more than one value to see if more than one thing is, if either of those 2 things are true. So the first thing we're going to check is A2 equal to triangle? Again, capital T, and it has to be in quotation marks, right? We've done these things before. So equals if open parenthesis or open parenthesis A2 equals quotation mark capital T RIANGLE close quotation mark. And that's one thing we're going to check. After that one thing we're going to check, we're going to put a comma. And that tells us, okay, we're ready to look. That tells the computer we're ready to look at the next thing. And the next thing is A2 equals trapezoid. And again, A2 equals quotation mark, capital TRAPEZOID, quotation mark, right? Now, if we were going to check more things, we'd put another comma, but we're not. Those are the only 2 things we're going to check. So we're going close parenthesis, which is shift 0. After that, so those are the 2 things we're checking. So if these are true, comma, right? So the comma separates the things we're checking from what we want to do if that's true. So if one of those is true, what do we want? Well, we want to return true. If neither of those is true, then we want to return false. Close quotation mark, close parenthesis, and that is the entirety of the program, of that formula that we're going to write. So we click done, and we're done with side 2. We can see our formula right there. Side 3. the last of the conditional formatting we're going to write. So we'll go ahead and click in that cell, and then you're going to click add another rule. And again, we're applying to cell I2, and it's not going to be if it's empty. Specifically, we want a custom formula. Now we can drag my head back up just for fun. And the formula is, again, we're going to type the formula. So equals if is, again, how we're starting. Equals if, open parenthesis, which is shift 9. And then the only thing we have to check is triangle. So if A2 equals triangle, again, it has to be in quotation marks, right? So if open equals if open open parenthesis A2 equals quotation capital TRIANGLE quotation comma. So if it is equal to triangle, then we want to return true comma false. If it's not equal to triangle, then we want it false, because false will mean it doesn't show up color. All right, after false, we do that close parenthesis, which is shift 0, and there's our formula. We're done. So we can click off of that, scroll all the way to, I guess I have to move my head again, click the done button, and now we can see that that formula is in there as well. So if we go over here, I'm going to close my conditional formatting window just so I can see these things happening. So if I go here and I choose rectangle, you can see I only get base and height. If I choose parallelogram, base, height, side. If I choose triangle, I get base, height, and then all three of those sides. Specifically, I need those sides for perimeter, right? And if I get circle, it's just the radius. Man, this is working really well. Pentagons lighten up the right things. And then trapezoid is the other one. And again, we've got base 1, base 2, height, side 1, side 2. This is good, right? All my conditional formatting seems to be working exactly as it should. And that's a good sign that we're ready to move ourselves forward to what's next. So great job. Make sure that you take that screenshot. I'd encourage your screenshot either to have triangle or trapezoid. I guess triangle probably makes the most sense. So this is a great place to put your screenshot. Take your screenshot and then submit that screenshot to the exit ticket, and we'll be ready to move forward with our next fun steps.